cohort-based program. And so what does that mean? It is a little bit different than some of the other programs out there. So you can have a look. That's one of the differentiators for this program. And so what that means is essentially you're with your class for the first half of the program. So there's 60 to 70 students in the morning, the same in the evening. Altogether, you have about 140 students you're going to get to know, which is a really great number. And it sounds really big, but you're not going to be sort of just a number, right? You're not going to be just a number in the crowd either, because we do a lot of teamwork, a lot of small teamwork, and you're going to get to know these people very, very well. One of the other things that I would say should be on your list as you're doing your research is the size of your network. One of the things that I've kind of learned through my career and having worked at various educational institutions over the years, in terms of an MBA, not only do you want to be looking at what it is you're learning, but that network is super important. I can't emphasize that enough, especially as you get up in your career. It is very, very important for you to build that network. And so by the time you graduate from this program, you're going to get to know about 600 people that you didn't know before. So why do we sort of have this cohort set up? Other programs, they talk about flexibility from the beginning. That sounds really, really great. But Mark and I, for example, might be in our same class together in our very first semester, and then we might never see each other again. So that model doesn't work for everybody. This model, you're with the same people. So Mark and I and other people here would be together for the whole time. And then in the first half of the program, and then in the second half of the program, once I've got all of those friends and I'm feeling really comfortable, then we open it up to even more people. So like I said, by the time you graduate, you're going to get to know about 600 people that you didn't know before. Beyond all of that, it is an immersive experience and it does have immediate application. So what does that mean? With the full-time program, you are going back to school full-time. So you're learning a lot of great material, but the problem with that is you're not really applying it as you go. So it's a little bit subjective, or that's not the right word. I'm having trouble finding my words after doing so many events this week. But you're just not able to apply it as you're going. With the morning and evening program, that is not the case. You are learning in the morning and then you're able to apply it right to your work in the afternoon, or vice versa with the other program. And so you're able to put some of the material that you're learning into practice right away. And that's really important as well. So this is the setup of the MBA program. It is 28 to 32 months, as our full-time program is, like I said, a 2-year full-time program. The first half, as we already talked about, is a set curriculum. So you're moving through with all of your classmates. The other reason why we do it this way is because we want to give you an opportunity to try a couple of different hats on before you move into your electives. So not everybody's coming from a business background. And even if you are coming from a business background, this is a master level program. And you might try something, one of the core courses that you've never tried before. And it may open up areas for you that are new and exciting, and you might decide you're going in a whole different direction. So this program not only gives you the time to do that, but it also gives you the specializations. So in the second half of the program, that is where we have all of our electives. There's over 100 to choose from. At that point, the timing of the program is a little bit different because we can't fit all 100 electives in either the morning or the evening. And so we have weekend classes. You could take them other evenings, other mornings, or during the day. And you're also going to have some crossover in that elective phase with the full-timers as well. So that's essentially the structure of the program. And whether you're in full-time or morning and evening, those majors are the same. And we have 16 different ones that you can choose from. Okay, next slide there it is. So outside of what we've talked about so far, which is really just the foundation of the program, there is so much more that Rotman provides. And that's one of the real Rotman advantages. So this week, we actually had a whole session on the self-development lab with Maya Dichik. Fabulous program where you get to learn a lot about yourself, about your presentation style, your leadership style. I highly recommend looking into that. It's only available to Rotman MBA students. And so definitely a really strategic advantage for us at Rotman, and something that I would highly recommend that you take part in. The Creative Destruction Lab is there for anybody who is an entrepreneur, or if you want to work in high tech, this is a fabulous opportunity to do that. We've also got the Business Design Initiative, and then our Trading and Analytics Labs that are there for you to use as well. So lots to do outside of the classroom. And speaking of outside of the classroom, we also have all sorts of different clubs you can be a part of, case competitions, exchanges, and study tours. So I can't emphasize this enough. The clubs are very, very important. The case competitions, which are run by some of the clubs, are also very important. So like I said, as you move up in your career, you're going to be relying more and more on your network to help you find that next job. Those case competitions are absolutely key to doing that. It helps you with your presentation skills. It can get you in front of industry experts. Sometimes the first place winners get the first round interviews with a certain company. So very, very exciting opportunity, lots of fun to be a part of, and a great way to really help you bolster your career. All right, let's see here. Just let someone else coming in. The Global Exchange Tours, those take place in your third year, and they will be back on track by the time you would reach your third year. Career services. So this is a huge part of why you are coming to Rotman. I assume that for most of you, you're looking to move up in your career or to move into something new, and the career services are there to help support you all the way. So there are two separate groups that are part of that. The first one being generalists. And so they are there if you are trying to prepare for an interview, or you want to negotiate your salary. And then the other half of them are more industry specific. So they're there, let's say if you wanted to move into consulting. My battery is low on my phone. I apologize. I'm just going to plug it in, and then I think I'll pop back up on your screen again. And so, okay, let's see here. Hopefully everybody can see me now. Sorry about that. And so they really are there to help you with your career. One thing that I wanted to point out here is when people are sitting in your shoes, when you're thinking about doing research for an MBA, most people, their mindset is, okay, I'm going to finish my MBA and then I'm going to get a new job and I'm going to move up or what have you. And it's been our experience that with the morning and evening program, that is not the case. What actually happens is that you will see 2 promotions within the program itself. And so making sure that you tap into the career services team early and often is very important in terms of making sure that you're making those transitions or moving up in your career. All right, so that is a lot about the program itself. So now I want to talk about why Rotman. There are a lot of different programs out there. Why would you choose Rotman over some of the other competitors? And it's an excellent question. You know, when I was coming up in my career, you didn't necessarily need to have an MBA in order to get to that next level. And I'm sure you've noticed, as I have noticed, more and more when you're looking at leadership roles, they are asking for MBAs. And so when more people have MBAs out there, how do you differentiate yourself amongst the others that are maybe waiting in a wait room trying to get the job. And so really it comes down to brand. The Rotman brand is associated with U of T and it is world renowned. You're going to be able to take it with you anywhere. And even within Canada, #1 university in Canada, and top 18 universities in the world. So you're going to be taking that globally recognized MBA with you no matter where you go. We are #1 in Canada because of the research that our faculty does, or at least that's one of the reasons. They really are cutting edge. And so you're going to be able to gain insights from them. On Wednesday of this week, we heard from Avi Goldfarb, who talked to us all about AI. And that was one of the things that he was talking about, that you are really in there and you are learning from people who are on the cutting edge of the industry. And so that's very important. But not only that, they're also really nice. And you're gonna see that later tonight in about 15 minutes. Beyond that, we do have a leadership development practicum that looks at who you are right now and where do you want to be and how do we help build the bridge to get you there. And beyond that, it is a complete MBA experience. So like I said, it's not just about what's in the classroom, it's about building that network, it's about all of those other experiences that we're offering to you as an MBA student. And to be honest, there are more pieces to the MBA puzzle here at Rotman than we've even been able to touch on in this session. There's so much more. We do have an on-board program where you can sit on the board of a not-for-profit. There are other international opportunities. There's consulting opportunities. We have mentoring. So there is so much that is available to you as a Rotman student. And like I said, finally, building your biggest network. It's not only about the biggest network, but it's also about, who is in that network. So as part of the Rotman family, you now have 120, 140 classmates that you're very close with. As you move through the years, you're going to get to know about 600 people. Then you have access to all of our Rotman alumni, as well as all of the U of T alumni. So there's a lot of people there that you're able to connect with. And it's been my experience that people will bend over backwards to help you. I've literally had Rotman alum like grab onto me and like ask how they can help because they really are excited about giving back to the students. So that's a huge thing. And I think it's a very, very important thing to consider when you're looking at different MBAs. This is a class profile from 2 years. We really need to update it 2 years ago. Average years of work experience is actually 7. And this, of course, is meant to just give you an idea of who is in the class. This is the average person, but of course, there's a range. So the range of work experience is actually between 2 and 20 years. The age obviously would fluctuate with that as well. Last year, our average GMAT score was actually 640, not 632. So that's something to think about. And really what this is meant to do is just to say, we have people coming from all different backgrounds. Last year we had 50-50 women and men. So it's diversified that way as well. Lots of different industries. And then people are coming from all over the world to Toronto to come into this program. So I think that's part of the magic of this program is it really is quite diverse. And that's one of the things that makes it special. You're going to be able to learn a lot from the people that you're in class with. In terms of admission criteria, we are looking for a mid-B in your final year. So that could be a 3.0 or first class division or 75, depending on which school you went to. If you don't have that, it's not the end of the world. Just reach out to us and we can definitely work through that with you. We are looking at your application holistically, obviously. And so all of these things are going to count. But if one area isn't as strong as it should be, then others are going to need to be a little bit stronger. If you didn't study in English in your undergrad, you may need to write a TOEFL or IELTS. If you're unsure about whether you're going to need to do that, please reach out to us before deciding that you need to go and write it. In terms of work experience, we are looking for 2 years full time. I have had people in the past who maybe worked first and then went back and got their undergraduate degree, that of course will count. But we are looking for 2 years of full-time work experience in general postgraduate. And it does need to be in the Greater Toronto area. The reason for that is, of course, that ultimately we are hoping to go back into in-person classes. And so you would need to be able to commute to the class in order to be a part of the program. Now, if you haven't heard anything else I said today, the 2 references, if you are thinking of applying, these are very, very important to the admission committee. And so making sure that you have references that are your managers, people that have supervised you is very important. We're not looking for friends. We're not looking for aunts or academics. Has to be somebody that has managed you. So please keep that in mind, and make sure you talk to them in advance about the fact that you're looking to have them as a reference as well. We're going to talk a little bit more about the GMAT in a second, but what I will say is if you have a CFA3 or a CFA charter holder, you do not need to write that exam. That is the only exemption that we make for this program. And then there are 2 essays, so 500 words and 250 words. And both of those can be found in the application themselves. And then there is the admission interview. So usually when all of those pieces are in, we invite you in for an admission interview. So I said I was going to talk a little bit more about the GMAT and GRE. So let's do that right now. I know it can be a little bit daunting, but I wanted to let you know where the ranges are. So we start to consider you for the program at about 550 on the GMAT, or the equivalent on the GRE is about a 156 on both verbal and quant. We start to consider you for entrance awards at 600 and above. And then if you were looking for a distinguished award, we start to consider you for 650 and above. Now, obviously, we are looking for a well-rounded application, but in terms of the GMAT and GRE or CFA3, this is what we're looking for as a benchmark, just to let you know. What is a distinguished award? Basically, it's a named award and it provides you with more money than maybe you would get otherwise. So our awards typically range between $5,000 and $30,000. So there are a number of them, including Women in Business, Humanitarian Awards, Engineering Awards that we do give out excuse me, on a regular basis. Like I said, if you want to be considered for one of these, you do need to have at least a 650 or a CFA3, or, written your GMAT and have the equivalent as well. Sorry, GRE and have your equivalent as well. All right, application deadline is coming up February 9th. You don't have to have written your GMAT before that. As long as you get everything else in, you will be considered for a $8,000 entrance award as long as you hit 600 and above on your GMAT. So that may be something that you want to consider. In terms of tuition fees, it is about $30,000 a year for the 3 years if you are a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. We've already talked about the awards, and then there's a loan program as well through BMO and RBC, where Rotman pays the interest on your loan for the whole time that you are in school. I'm just trying to be a bit mindful of time here. We've got a few more minutes, so I can open it up for some questions just before Numan joins us. And then, like I said, we have the alumni panel starting shortly. Does anybody have any questions? Great, Gagneet, over to you.
Thank you for all the information. Actually, I just wanted to ask a question from a different perspective. So we've been talking about why morning and evening is great, right, for us and for working professionals. But can you think of a couple of things which would be, which would say that why not do for morning and evening? Just to look at it from the other perspective. What are we losing?
So
maybe not losing is the wrong word, but you understand.
I don't know about everybody else, but I'm having a really hard time understanding what you're saying. I'm so sorry. Maybe try short and sweet for me. If you could try to repeat.
Okay. Yeah. So very simple question. So we talked about the advantages. Let's talk about a couple of disadvantages of joining the morning and evening program.
Okay. I talked about the sorry, I talked about the advantages and you're asking what are the disadvantages of joining the morning and evening program. Really interesting question. I'm just making Newman a co-host here. Just give me half a second. Well, I would say that, you are working while you're going to school. And so you're definitely going to need a black belt in time management in order to get through the program. The good news is that we do have the alumni coming up, the alumni panel, and they're going to talk to you about how that happens and how they handled all of the workload that they had to take on. What I would say is that the program really does prepare you for leadership. As you're moving up, you are going to be quite busy and you are going to need to manage your time. And so I think it actually provides you with a great opportunity to do that. But I will say that that would be one thing that I don't know if it's a disadvantage, but it's definitely something that you would need to manage while you're in the program. But thank you for that question. I'm trying to think of what else I would say to that. Is there anyone else with any questions? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit further down here on my list. I can't see if anybody's hands up. Ravi, over to you.
Hey, hi, thanks for the great session. So my question is, so for this morning and evening, it is like both times we need to be going to the college, or it's one or the other? I missed actually first few minutes because I had some issue with Zoom.
Okay, no worries. I know technology sometimes is our friend and sometimes not. So that's a really great question. When I first joined Rotman, I actually thought it was the morning and evening program as well, like you came in the morning and the evening, but that is not the case. So you decide which one you would prefer to do, and then you either come in the morning or in the evening. Morning is 7 to 9 and evening is 6:30 to 8:30. There is some overlap in that you're going to get to know some of your classmates in both cohorts, but you get to choose morning or evening.
Okay, thank you. And it would be like a 5-day a week, or how's it?
So it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, and one of those 2 days is actually a hybrid. So there'll only be one in person, actually.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Thanks for the questions. I have time for one more. Is it Jaber or Haber? I can't pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. You can teach me. Are you still there?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, Angela?
Good. How do you pronounce your name?
It's actually Javer.
Jaber.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you.
Yeah. Just one question. When is the deadline for submitting the GRE results, the latest?
Yes, so you can apply by February 9th and your GRE results can come after that. We can't make you an offer until we do have your test results in. They can be your unofficial results, so you could just send us your results and we can go from there. But yes, we can't make you an offer until we get those results from you. So does that make sense?
I just want to know, let's say you say it starts in August, no? So the latest I can send it to you, let's say if I have to book the test maybe 2 months from now to get prepared.
Yep.
Like what is the latest
So,
I have?
I would say I wouldn't leave it till the end. So this is a really great question. And this is going to be the last thing that I say. If you are planning on joining us this year, you're right. The program starts in August. I would not leave it to July. You may need to rewrite. You may need to write once just to kind of get the, get your nerves kind of in order. So definitely I would try to write it in the next couple of months to give yourself that time in order to pull up your score from there. And with that, I am going to now pass things over to